and welcome back to another Skye adventure on She Walks, She Paints. Today we've come to the Quiraing, or Quiraing. I'm never sure if I'm saying these names right, so I'll have to double check that. Another really amazing volcanic landscape that has eroded and just left these really amazing land formations. So we're going to have an explore through that, hopefully get a walk along the ridge as well and get some really good views. Now, I've put my summer weight fleece on today because when we went up the old manor store it was really warm. So hopefully spring will continue and it'll stay nice and warm today, but I'll get walking and I'll soon warm up. So let's head out and see what we find today. This fortress-like formation is known as the prison. This pinnacle, similar to the Old Man of Store, is called the Needle. This landscape was created over millions of years. When the continent started breaking apart, lava erupted over this land, covering the ancient rock underneath. As time passed, the weight of the volcanic rock fractured the weaker layers below, and the land began to slide into the sea, creating the towering cliffs and dramatic pillars of rock that we see today. So we've just come out of the wind a little bit here in a little sheltered gully. And obviously the sun's beaten down, which is lovely, but it just means it's so roasting. It's really cold in the wind, and then as soon as it drops, it's really warm. So this is the difficulty about walking in Scotland, is that you never know how warm or cold it's going to be. You never know what the weather's going to do, so you have to prepare for everything. But it's just so beautiful here. Look at this landscape. I honestly feel like I'm in Lord of the Rings right now. You enjoying that? Is that nice and cool? You're spraying it at me, which is also nice. Thank you. Let's go this way. Good boy. Look at this group of crystals. Like a little geode. That's so beautiful. Little quartz crystals. That one might have to come home with us. Hey pups, is this where I get pulled at the hill? Let's go! And this is why Jack is on a lead. Good boy. We think the smoke in the distance is due to heather burning, or muirburn, a practice which encourages the growth of new shoots, which are more palatable than older heather to the grouse, deer, mountain hares and livestock which graze here. The practice involves setting a controlled fire on the moorland to remove the older heather and grass, without damaging the underlying layer of soil. It can only take place between October and April, when conditions are cooler and wetter. looking down on another rock formation that is hidden from view on the lower path. The table gets its name from the flat rectangular shape of the rock. This hidden gully is where the local MacDonald clan members used to hide their cattle when they were under threat from Viking raiders. It is this feature which gives the Quiraing its name, meaning round fold in Old Norse. We made it back down from the ridge, back on the main path now and just heading back to the car. I am tired. It felt like a long way and that was quite a climb up to the top. What a day. Those views were amazing, so it was totally worth the effort to make the climb up there. Gonna head back now, have a look at my photos and see what I can take back to the studio. I'll see you there. I wanted to try and challenge myself with my Skye paintings by choosing different subjects. I kept seeing this old crofter's cottage from the road as we drove to and from our walks. I knew I had to try and paint it. A croft in Scotland is a small dwelling with land attached, which is tended by the inhabitants so they can make a living. Crofting is unique to Scotland, which goes back hundreds of years. This is probably an old black house, or tai dhu in Gaelic. A small stone cottage with rounded, thick walls and an overhanging thatched roof, held down by stones to prevent it from being blown away in the wild Scottish weather. Crofters were a people without rights. They could be, and often were, evicted with very little notice by the landowners. Their houses had to be of simple construction, as they may have to move on at short notice. This changed after 1886 with the introduction of the Crofting Act, and therefore the black houses gave way to the newer style of Highland cottage, the White House, or tai gel in Gaelic, with a whitewashed exterior. Many of the old black houses have fallen into ruin, but this one has been restored, with whitewash to protect the stones and the addition of chimneys. Originally, smoke from the fire would have been left to dissipate through the roof. This may have led to the name, as the interior of the cottage would have been blackened from smoke. This is quite different to my other paintings, which are usually very close up and detailed. Here I am painting something larger on a small scale. Hopefully I can capture enough of the details to bring it to life. Apparently the door of a black house was never locked, as Highlanders believed they had a moral obligation to welcome strangers and provide hospitality for friends and neighbours. A key was therefore associated with inhospitality and meanness. At first I worried that I had gone too dark on the shading of the whitewashed stones, but once you start adding in the darker details, like the door and windows, it doesn't stand out as much. The thatched roof is the main focal point of this croft, so I knew I needed to get the texture right. I used lots of tiny brush strokes of brown and grey in the direction that the thatch was laid to capture it. Fortunately, the roof is not a uniform colour or texture, so any imperfections actually work in my favour. I love this little croft building. It's so particular to the Highlands in the Western Isles of Scotland, so it brings back memories of this and many other trips here. I wonder who has lived in this house over the years and what they would think of my painting. All my paintings are available as prints on Etsy, so please do check out my store. The link is in the video description below, as well as my Instagram and Ko-fi pages.
Gentle. Good boy.